What's up, Internet? This is my top 10 for the 2022 SUPERCROSS 450 class. Man, I can't wait for this season to start. What do we got? Like a month? A little bit over a month? Hopefully nobody gets hurt, before the racing starts. We had some injuries last year, then we had some injuries during the season. I mean, somebody's going to crash their brains out. We know that. It happens. But let's just hope none of these dudes get hurt before round one. I really want to get like 3 or 4 rounds in, nobody getting hurt. And then whatever happens after that happens. Okay. Let's look at, before we get into my list for 2022, let's look at 2021, right? Obviously, Webb won the Supercross Championship. Roczen second, Tomac third. It's a very quiet, uneventful third. Barsha had his best season, I think, in a long time on the gas, which is really just a red KTM. Plessenger with Star Yamaha. He had some good rides last year. Stewart, I can't even remember what the heck he was riding last year, but he's made some changes for this year. Dylan Ferrandis, I was surprised he made round one, starting the year off his rookie season on the 450 with Star. It's kind of Star's rookie season too, if you think about it, in the 450 class at least. And he started off with that wrist injury right out of the gate. I was shocked when he made round one. Anderson, Muskin, and Savachi. All right, so there's some big names not on this list, right? Sexton, he had a that was an ugly crash, man. Landed in the face of another jump. That was nasty. So he missed a lot of races. Adamson Cirillo, hurt again, missed a lot of races. Let's just assume these two guys don't get hurt. They race the full season. 2 people from 2021 top 10 need to be bumped off the list. There's only 10 spots. We got 10 already. We're going to add 2 more. That's right. I'm going to put these 2 in my top 10 for 2022. I mean, like, how could you not? Adam is so fast. Chase is really, really fast. Those kinds of mistakes are pretty rare for him. If you look at his 250 career, the dude was just rock solid and fast and not flashy at all. Kind of reminds me of the Kevin Windham. He's a taller rider, 5'11", almost 6 feet tall. That's tall for motocross. Zach Osborne has retired. I don't know if you guys heard that. I think it's worth mentioning his retirement because, he could easily be a top 5 rider in Supercross. That changes the list. So 2 people got to be knocked off this list. I mean, Savachi is an easy, dude, you're not making top 10 this year unless more people get hurt. Is he even racing? Leave me a comment down below. I haven't heard anything about Savachi. I don't even know if he's racing in 2022. So Savachi's got to go off this list. We got to make room for Chase X and Adamson Cirillo. All right, let's get this party started. So in number 10th, I've got Jason Anderson. Yeah. Look, I like Jason Anderson. El Hombre, as they like to call him. My wife calls him the New Mexican Thug because she's from Albuquerque, and Rio Rancho is like a suburb of Albuquerque, if you ask me. But probably just offended somebody. Anyway, I know he's going to Kawasaki. He's made some scenery changes, is what I like to call it, but I don't think it's going to result in much of anything. He'll probably get some insight into why Eli Tomac finally left Kawasaki. I think Kawasaki's going to have the worst season they've had in a long time. Moving on, Adam Cianciarulo. This was tough for me because I know he's better than 9th. He's so fast. He qualifies up top all the time. Starts can be inconsistent, but he's fast. He's fast. He's faster than 9th. He absolutely is. But he's had a lot of injuries going all the way back to his 250 days. He tends to have these weird crashes, incidents that just leave you scratching your head. And, again, this isn't a list of who's fastest. This is a list for the championship, and you need more than speed. You need consistency, and I don't see the consistency there. But I could be wrong. Maybe he finds it this year. I don't know. Moving on, number 8, I've got Justin Barsha. Now, Barsha had a good year last year, He finished 4th in the championship, yeah. So, why do I have him losing 4 spots? Well, we had 2 dudes on the list. We had 2 dudes not on the list. One of them I put underneath him as Adamson Cirillo, but I really think that there's some guys that finished lower than 4th in the championship last year. They're going to make some moves. They're going to move on up, and we'll get to those guys. But I think other guys are kind of pushing Barcia down. I see more of the same, but I don't think more of the same from 2021 is going to result in the same success in 2022. I just don't. So I see him dropping down to 8. I think Barcia's biggest problem, I know he's making changes to his program. There's a nice interview on Racer X. He's changing his trainer. I think it's like an old new trainer. He's changing things, but I don't think those were the problems with him not having more success, winning more races other than the opener. I think he'll probably win the opener again. He's certainly going to be determined to keep that streak going. I mean, to win round 1 4 years in a row, that's pretty cool. That's a one for the record books. But I think his biggest problem's always been the emotional decisions he makes in the races. It shouldn't be emotional. You know, it's not personal. It's business when you're out on a racetrack. But anyway, I got Barcia at 8. I got to move on. Number 7. I think it's going to be Malcolm Stewart. I have a hard time with this. This is where the list really gets hard, because you've got guys like Plessenger and Stewart, and it's just hard to figure out where they're going to land. But Stewart moved to the white KTM Husqvarna. He's training with Alden, and the last time I saw somebody move to a KTM brand, train with Alden, and not do at least a little better was like never. So I think he's going to do better, but I think at the same time the competition is going to be stiff. Like, I don't know, like how do you put one rider? I don't know. I just got him in 7th, and I like Mookie. I think he's going to actually help the rest of the KTM team, because they'll finally have somebody who can ride whoops. Maybe they'll figure out a setup that works with the KTM. All right, and then number 6, I've got Plessenger. I think I might. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm reversing those. I'm going to put Plessenger in 7, and I'll put Stewart in 6th. And I think this coming year, assuming nobody gets hurt, I think 6th is pretty badass, because we still got a lot of riders like Webb and Tomac and Ferendis and Chase Sexton and Ken Roxon that we haven't talked about yet. So I'm going to swap those. I'm putting Plessenger in 7th. I'm putting Stewart in 6th. Yeah. Both of them have made very similar moves. Both of them moving to KTM brands. Both of them training with Alden Baker. They're going to do better than they did last year. They have to. They have to. Because of what I just said. So there you go. And by the way, KTM's releasing a new generation, and they're going to sell it as a factory edition. Now, how that trickles down to the white KTM, the Husqvarna team, and the red KTM, Gas, I don't know, because they've got homologation rules. They can't just, take the factory edition and put white plates on it, or red plates, plastics, I should say, not plates, because I think that would violate homologation rules, even though, let's face it, it's the same frame, engine, and suspension and brakes. There are small differences, we know, between the gas that provide them to sell it cheaper than the KTM, but that's neither here nor there. It's the same bike, but I don't think that it's going to trickle down directly unless they're making factory edition gases and factory edition KTMs, because I think it would break homologation rules. So I'm not sure how this new generation KTM factory edition model that the KTM team is going to be racing, I don't know how that trickles down to the gas guys and the Husqvarna guys, but we'll see. All right, moving on. Number 5, Ken Roxon. All right, he finished 2nd in the championship last year. He did good. He won races. He's on the podium a lot. But I think he's going to find it more difficult to repeat that in 22. Here's the thing about Ken Roxon, man. I mean, he gets good starts. He lays down some heater laps early. But look at how many times he's built a huge lead and gave it up. Gave it up to Webb. I mean, Webb owns Roxon. Mentally, he owns Roxon. He has caught and passed Roxon for the race win in the last turn of the last lap so many times. I don't know. I don't see anything changing. And again, if you do the same as you did in 2021, in 2022, that means you're probably dropping a spot or two. So he gets great starts. He lays down heater laps, but he fails to close the deal at the end of the race. And so I think he's going to be 5th. I think some younger, hungrier guys are coming. All right, number 4. This is a wild card kind of thing for me here. Chase Sexton. I'm going to put him in number 4. So he's making some changes. No longer working with James Stewart. Sounds like he found some setup improvements during the outdoors this year. Probably gained some confidence. Doesn't directly translate to Supercross, but I'm sure that it's all mental. I think he can carry some of that outdoor confidence into Supercross for 2022. I think he's maybe learned from his previous injuries. I got him finishing 4th. All right, let's get to the meaty part, the top 3. So in 3rd, I have Dylan Ferrandis. And that's quite it's a big improvement from 7th to 3rd. I know he wouldn't be happy to finish 3rd, but I think he'd be content to finish 3rd. I think he's going to win races. He's going to be on the podium. But it's not the 258s anymore. He's not racing against kids that are still popping zits on their face. Right? He's racing against hardened champions, Webb and Tomac. Yeah, those are the last 2 names I haven't mentioned yet. So those are obviously in my top 2. I just think that's where he's going to end up. I think Star Yamaha is going to have a great year. I think Ferrandis is going to have a great year. Webb is tough to beat, man. Dude, kind of reminds me of Carmichael. He just has this grit and determination about him. He's not very flashy. I think Webb's a little bit more stylish, certainly, than Carmichael was early in his career. He's going to be hard to beat. He's going to be on the new generation KTM. We'll see if that makes a difference. But I just don't see Dylan Ferrandis in his 2nd year beating a Webb. The dude is he's just got that, Oh, man. So, obviously, number 1, I've got Tomac. I think he's hungry again. I think he feels rejuvenated. I think he's happy to be off the Kawasaki. I don't know what Kawasaki's problem is, but I think they're in for a bad year, a bad 2022 season, Kawasaki, that is. I think Star Yamaha is going to kick ass. We saw what they did in the outdoors with Dylan. And I think we're going to see beast mode speed again. And hopefully if we have that consistency that he had in 2020, maybe even more consistency, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be some good racing. I'm excited, man. Oh, man. So there you go. 10th, Jason Anderson, Adam Cincerillo in 9th. The Kawasaki boys, Barsha. 8th, Malcolm Stewart 7th. No, I moved those. Malcolm Stewart is 6th. Plessenger is 7th. Ken Roxon 5th. Chase Sexton 4th. Ferrandis in 3rd. Webb in 2nd. Tomac is going to be our 2022 Supercross champion. Woo! All right, guys. See you in the next video. Till then, keep the rubber side down. Don't forget to leave your hate comments down below. Tell me how much of an idiot I am. We didn't talk about Mooskin. At the beginning, we talked about how we've got 2 names not on the list from last year's championship in the top 10. Chase Sexton and Adam Cincerillo. 2 people from last year's list have to get booted off, right? Booted off. They had to get booted off. Savachi was an easy one, right? The rest of those names, not so easy. I picked Marvin Mooskin to finish off the top 10 because somebody had to. And I just think it's going to be Marvin. Look, he's 32 years old. He renewed his KTM contract, but it's only Supercross in the 2022 season. So he has no contract beyond that. I think he's going to retire. Some might argue that he's not going to race motocross. He's going to try to extend his Supercross career a couple more years, which we've seen that done a couple of times by a couple of riders like Jeremy McGrath. I think he was the first one to do that. And it seemed to work out for Jeremy, but he also had already won like 4 titles. So I think he's done. I think this is his last year. And when you're at that point in your career, the hunger and the willingness to send that shit next to somebody like Ferrandis or, I won't say any, but a lot of the dudes in that list, I don't think it's there, that hunger and that desire. And I know in a recent interview, Roger DeCoster says, Marvin looks better than he ever has. Well, then why did you only give him a 1-year Supercross only deal? Like, okay, he looks great. Are you going to mod his contract and keep him around for another year? No, because he's probably going to retire, or you don't necessarily believe how good he looks now in preseason is going to carry through and mean anything. I think his best result will be a podium. I don't see him winning. So there you go. There's my list. Leave your hate comments down below. It should be fun. Bye.